I am very seriously looking at switching to AT&T. The main reason would be the iPhone. However, I did some more research into it. I am told that the iPhone seems to be infamous for dropped calls. Now, I spoke to a Best Buy representative the other day who explained to me that with the dropped calls, the reason it's doing that is because the iPhone is hanging when you go between a 3G and Edge tower. It's not transferring properly. And I've already seen a video or two about how to overcome this. Basically, just keep your 3G turned off whenever possible. And I was thinking about doing a tower search to see which are 3G towers and which are Edge towers in the area which where I go regularly, so that I can adjust accordingly with my settings. Then I checked into the Data Viz Documents to Go application. It synchronizes the documents just fine, but I've been told that the interface is a little bit buggy. Somebody even said that it is slow when responding to your typing. About 3 or 4 characters behind doesn't sound too good. So I've been looking at alternatives, just in case the iPhone doesn't work out. One of them was the Nokia E71X. This is the cheapest smartphone on AT&T. It's only $100 on contract. Great little device. I've never experienced Symbian before, but I've been told that it's a lot more stable. The main plus of that phone has been battery life. The problem is AT&T has crippled it to the point where it will not synchronize with my Macintosh, and this is a problem because my Mac is my primary computer for both work and play. So, what do you do? So that kind of kicked that one out the door. There's a device upcoming that I have no idea whether or not I'm going to get because I don't really know much about it. It's the Android-based HTC Lancaster. So I'll need to get more information on that. And the other device I was looking at was the possibility of a BlackBerry. Excuse me. BlackBerry. The trouble is I have not seen the new operating system, the 4.3 OS, and I have yet to see any font adjustment, but I did look at the font adjustment in the older BlackBerry. Putting it on 14 font, which is the maximum, has apparently rendered the BlackBerry sluggish. Now, I don't know if they fixed this in the new operating system. Again, I do not know. I have not seen it. But, again, iPhone is on the top of my list, and I am not going Windows Mobile. But in case the iPhone doesn't work out, here's what I'm looking at doing. I definitely would like to have Wi-Fi on board because I do not want to pay for a steep data plan. That's one of the pluses I see of the GSM phones, is because they have Wi-Fi on board. You do not necessarily need to pay for the most expensive data plan like you do with Verizon, if you're a regular heavy user like I am. I'd only use 3G in areas where I do not have Wi-Fi. My vacation home comes to mind. I do not have Wi-Fi up there, and it will keep the email from piling up on a regular basis. So that essentially is one. Like I said, I would like to have Wi-Fi. I would like to be able to edit documents on the go, and this would come in handy when I'm, say, looking over a PowerPoint presentation before a class starts, without having to pull out my laptop and sacrifice battery power, because I waste about 5 minutes getting my laptop set up when I could just pull out my smartphone and take a look at it. So that's one thing. The other thing is I would like to be able to listen to my music. So email listening and music and documents are my main thing, and Wi-Fi. The problem is that I've got a fair amount of content that's purchased in the iTunes App Store, iTunes Music Store, that is DRM protected, and as such won't work on anything but the iPod. I couldn't even transfer it off of my iMac to a hard drive, if that says anything. But so in case the iPhone does not work out, in case I end up having call after call after call being dropped, I'm looking at those alternatives. And again, I would like to do music, email, and documents, possibly videos, essentially the iPhone was supposed to be an upgrade to the iPod Touch, and still is an upgrade to my iPod Touch, if I get it. But, you know, I'm just not sure. My concerns are the following. With the iPhone, it would be that document suite. That's number one. Number two would be the possibility of dropped calls. With the BlackBerry, you have the possibility of it being sluggish because of the large font that I need. Also, I've never really touched a BlackBerry before, so I would need some guidance in that. With the Symbian, what let me down was the fact that their devices unlocked are a little bit pricey. They do have a cheaper version of the E71 called the E63, but because of my hearing, I do not like squeaky noises, and depending on how squeaky it is, and the keyboard is pretty squeaky on the E63, and that would drive me nuts. So, so that would be that. So that would be a letdown to Symbian. The 71X out of the box does not synchronize with the Mac. In fact, I don't think it synchronizes at all with the Mac, unless there's an application that I could download to make that happen. I was told on the websites it would work with iSync, but somebody apparently discovered the hard way that it does not work with the Mac at all. Which is a shame, because that was the cheapest smartphone in the market. So that's the drawback of Symbian, is the lack of synchronization. So, oh, and the Android devices. I think there's supposed to be an Office app coming out for Android, but until I hear more information about the HTC Lancaster, I will be unable to make my final judgment. There is a device called the HTC Hero that's going to be released in the European Union later this summer, and we'll be getting it here in the States in the fall, but I have no idea where it's going. If it's going to a GSM carrier, if it's going to be unlocked, if for some strange reason it's going to CDMA. If it's going to CDMA, I expect Sprint to adopt it. But I doubt very seriously CDMA carriers will pick it up. I see for a good long while that Android's going to live on the GSM side of the world. So, and in which case, incidentally, I think it might end up on T-Mobile again. And I say again because they've already got 2 Android devices, and they may end up with a 3rd. Who knows? But until I receive more information about the HTC Lancaster and HTC Hero, I will be unable to determine final judgment on that. But yeah, basically with a smartphone, I'd like to be able to do music, email, and documents. Definitely has to have Wi-Fi. And of course, we talked about the pros and cons of the devices. The iPhone being the possible call drops and the document suite. The Symbian phone not being able to synchronize with the Mac. And the unlocked Symbian devices being a little bit pricey, and the squeakiness of the keyboard on the E63. We talked about the shortcoming of the BlackBerry being the font size, slowing down the system, and the fact that I have not seen a new operating system. And then, once again, just to cap it off finally, I do not have enough information on the upcoming Android devices, the Lancaster and the Hero, to make a final judgment, except that the Lancaster is definitely coming to AT&T this August. So, what do you think? Comments and questions are welcome. Insults towards me will get you blocked. Thank you for watching. I look forward to your input. Much appreciated. Thank you in advance, and have a nice day.